Hi, girls and boys. Today we're going to be doing lesson 10.1. I hope everybody's doing well. I have a special assistant today. Scarlett's going to be helping me teach you guys the lesson today, and she wants to learn all about it too. So, let's get started, okay? We're going to be doing how can you identify and draw points, line segments, rays, and angles. And this video is going to explain the lesson to you. You can complete this today. You can watch it as many times as you need to until you understand it. And I will be providing some other links on Google Classroom that will help you, and different websites that have supplemental material that can do this lesson as well. On Google Classroom, you're going to see an attachment. It's going to have a reteach. You're going to need to complete that in your notebooks. As well as on Think Central, you're going to see a link for Monday 10.1. You'll need to complete that by Friday. All right, let's get started. So, we're going to go over some vocabulary because we're doing geometry, and geometry has a lot of vocabulary. So it's important to know what we're talking about. So the first word we're going to do is point. A point is an exact location in space. So I've provided you with 3 different points. This is point A. It's one exact place in space. This is point B, another exact place in this space, in this piece of paper. And point C, that's another place in space. Okay, the next word we're going to do is a line. A line is a straight path of points that continues without end in both directions. Now that's really important. It continues without end in both directions. So if you notice, I drew a line here. This is line BC. Those are the points that are on the line. And you see I have arrows pointing in both directions. The reason why they're arrows is because technically I only have a part of this line shown. However, this line continues on and on in both directions, okay? So that's why it goes without end. Here's another one, RS. This goes on and on in both directions. Line segment. A line segment is a part of a line. So if I take away these arrows on the both sides, I have BC. I have a part of that line. And that's what a line segment is. It's a part of a line. You're taking a piece out of the line. So this is part of the line. This is DE, LM, and P. These are parts of a line. They have endpoints, okay? They do not continue on and on because this is just a piece of the line. Okay, the next one is a ray. A ray is kind of a combination of the two. It's kind of like a line and a little bit like a line segment. A ray is a part of a line that has one endpoint and continues without end in one direction. So we see that part of the line, this is the beginning, it's W, X. But X continues on and on, it does not end. FG, this is ray FG, and F is a point, but G continues on and on. That's in one direction. ZY. Okay, Z is the end point and Y will continue on. Now the thing that's important to see, and the reason why I drew it in different directions, is it doesn't matter what direction the line is pointing or which way it continues on and on forever. It's just that this has an end point and then continues on. Okay? The next section that we're going to be talking about are angles. An angle is formed by 2 rays or line segments that have the same endpoint. The shared endpoint is called the vertex. So here we have an angle. It's almost like we're taking 2 of these rays and we're putting them together and they're sharing the one endpoint. So this is the endpoint, it's Q. We have ray QP and ray QR. And when you put those together into an angle, we have angle PQR. And we say that endpoint, we say that in the middle. So let's look at some different kinds of angles. So the first angle is here, Scarlett. It's my Scarlett angle. It's a cute little angle, okay? And the reason why it's a cute little angle, kind of a play on the words, but an acute angle is an angle that's smaller than 90 degrees, which means that it doesn't make a square, okay? So this is an angle that's less than a square. A right angle is an angle that forms a square. It forms 90 degrees. If you see, it comes straight up and down, and a right angle always has this little square in it so that you know it's a right angle, okay? That, if you took a piece of paper, oops, you would see that it forms perfectly into that angle, okay? That shows that it's a right angle. So an acute angle is smaller than this right angle. And then we have an obtuse angle, and that's an angle that is larger than that right angle. It is larger than 90 degrees. So an obtuse angle is just an angle that is greater than a right angle, but less than a straight angle. So it doesn't go all the way down. It's just larger than that 90 degrees. And the last angle we're going to look at is a straight angle. This angle forms a line. It's 180 degrees. It almost just looks like a regular line with an endpoint right in the middle. Okay? All right, let's do some examples together. Assistant and my other assistant, Benji. Okay, we're gonna draw and label line segment AB. Now let's look at the top here. That's showing us AB with a line. So this is, we're drawing a line, sorry, not a line segment. We're drawing a line and it's AB. So what did we learn about a line is a line continues on in both directions. So if I'm drawing a line AB, I'm going to draw the points A and connect it to B. But a line goes on in both directions, so it needs to have arrows on both sides. Here we're drawing a line segment. Move over, baby. Sit in my mommy's chair. Here we're drawing a line segment. You see on top of it, it has two endpoints with a line going through it. A line segment, like we have here, is a part of a line between two endpoints. So if I'm going to draw and label line segment XY, it's going to have those endpoints, and those points are X, Y. Okay? Now we're going to draw obtuse angle K. And if I look back here, obtuse angle says it's greater than a right angle, but less than a straight angle. So it needs to be wider than the corner of a piece of paper, okay? But not quite straight. So you see here, this would be a right angle, and we can see that my angle is definitely larger than that angle. So my endpoint is K, because that's what it's telling me. And then we don't have to show that. I just wanted to show you that so that you can see that this is larger than that right angle. And then we have right angle. So we're going to be looking for a right angle is one that forms a square corner. So we want it to be perfectly like a corner. So if it's right angle CDE, we're going to draw what looks like a corner. Okay? And I can tell that if I take a notebook or a piece of paper, I can see that it is exactly like that corner of the notebook because it forms a square. So I'm going to put that little square in it because that tells us that it's a right angle. And then I'm going to label it with the letters that they're telling me. This is right angle C, D, E. Okay? So right angle C, D, E. All right, let's look at one more figure, and let's talk about the different lines and angles that we see in this figure. So this is going to be called figure M. So when I draw this picture, you're going to start to see some of the lines, some of the line segments. Okay. And we're going to put what they're called. And we're going to make this special. Now, what does that tell me? Scarlett, do you remember what that little square tells me?
I don't remember. I told you this.
Yes, that's right, baby. It's a right angle. Very good. So let's look at this picture. This is figure M, and I want to see, do we see a line segment here? So remember, 2 points that connect. So we're looking for a line segment. So I can look here and I can see, I see T and U. Those are line segments. So I'm going to put that little picture that identifies, that kind of says line segment, and we're going to call it TU. I see lots of line segments here. I see T and V. That's another line segment. We're watching a lot of that right now, TV. I see line segment VW, okay? These are just other line segments that we might see. And I see UW, I see UT, I see lots of different line segments here. Let's look for a right angle. Remember, like Scarlett told us, this little box here means right angle. So the right angle that we see is TUW. So we write angle, TUW. All right. On this figure, we have no rays, okay, because there's nothing that has arrows on one side. We don't see any lines because these are just line segments because they have endpoints. And let's look at a different figure. Let's look at figure S. That's right, like Scarlett. See, and you're starting to see this is a line. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to go through this quickly and we're just going to see all the different types of lines, segments, rays, lines, points that we see. Points, point A, point B, point P, point J, point Q, point R, point P, point C, all points. Angles, I can start to see something. This little box tells me it's a right angle, very good. So I see right angle PRC. I also see angles here, PBR. Okay, that's a smaller than 90 degrees, so that's an acute angle. On the other side of it, I see another acute angle, ABJ. Okay, I see angles that are larger than my 90 degrees, ABP. That's a really wide angle right there. Or JBR, that's another wide angle there. I see lines. I see the line JP. They continue on and on in both directions. QP, continues on and on in two directions. Okay, I see a line segment. Here's one endpoint right here. Okay, and here's an endpoint right here. So that part of the line, part of this big line, this little piece is line segment BR. I see rays, B to P, that's a ray. Okay, it only continues in one direction. From R to P, that continues in one direction. That's a ray. So we see all different types of things that we've seen here today. So just to review, point and exact location in space. A line continues both directions. A line segment is a piece of a line. A ray has one endpoint, continues on and on in the other directions. Then we have an angle. It's formed by two rays or two line segments. Okay? We have our right angle that forms a square, 90 degrees. We have our acute angle that's less than a right angle, less than 90 degrees, my little scarlet acute angle. And then I have an obtuse angle. That's an angle that is greater than 90 degrees. Obtuse is large, okay? So that's more than 90 degrees. So hopefully, and a straight angle. Forms a line and it's 180 degrees. So hopefully this helps you. You have to do your reteaching in your notebook and your assignment on Think Central. Have a great day. Bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.